Suspensions and exclusions from a place of learning. The types of exclusions: permanent exclusion, fixed-term suspension, internal exclusion, informal exclusion. Permanent exclusion. The excluded child or young person is removed from the school's register and denied access to the school's grounds indefinitely. Fixed-term suspension. The child or young person is denied access to the school's campus for a set number of days, or part of a day, which is followed by a return to school. Internal exclusion. The child or young person is confined to a behavioral unit or otherwise segregated from the mainstream school population. Informal exclusion. Any removal of a child from the school grounds that does not follow guidance. These are always unlawful. A place of learning can't exclude because a child has special educational needs and the school say it can't meet those needs. It should look at putting more or different support in place instead. A child is not doing well in school or is not as able as other children. A child cannot be excluded because they are not likely to get good exam results. Because of something a parent has or may have done. This might be something like making a complaint or not going to a meeting at school. Who can exclude? Only the head teacher or principal of a place of learning has the power to exclude a child or young person. The decision to exclude can be withdrawn by the head teacher or principal, either before the exclusion is made official or up to the point it is reviewed by the school's governing board. When can a child or young person be excluded? A pupil can only be excluded on disciplinary grounds. The behavior of pupils outside of school can be considered as grounds for exclusion. The school's behavior policy will set out when a pupil's behavior outside of school premises may lead to disciplinary sanctions. The decision to exclude a pupil permanently should only be taken in response to a serious breach or persistent breaches of the school's behavior policy, and where allowing the pupil to remain in school would seriously harm the education or welfare of the pupil or others such as staff or pupils in the school. Standard of proof. The head's decision to exclude must be taken on the balance of probabilities. That means that it is more likely than not that the pupil did what they are accused of. This means that the head teacher should accept that something happened if it is more likely that it happened than that it did not happen. What a head teacher's duties are when excluding? They must, without delay, notify parents of the period of the suspension or permanent exclusion and the reasons for it. When head teachers suspend or permanently exclude a pupil, they must also notify the local authority, without delay. Legislative changes mean that this must be done regardless of the length of a suspension. For a suspension of more than 5 school days, the governing board must arrange suitable full-time education for any pupil of compulsory school age. For permanent exclusions, the local authority must arrange suitable full-time education for the pupil to begin from the 6th school day after the first day the permanent exclusion took place. For any permanent exclusion, head teachers should take reasonable steps to ensure that work is set and marked for pupils during the first 5 school days. Exclusion and SEND. Children and young people with SEND are overrepresented in exclusion statistics. Head teachers should look to provide extra support to these students to try and reduce the risk of exclusion. The governing board must also comply with their statutory duties in relation to pupils with SEN when administering the exclusion process, including using their best endeavors to ensure the appropriate special educational provision is made for pupils with SEN. If reasonable adjustments have not been made for a pupil with a disability that can manifest itself in breaches of school rules if needs are not met, a decision to exclude may be discriminatory. Exclusion and EHCPs. If a school is concerned about a young person with an EHCP being at risk of permanent exclusion, they should call an early review of the plan to see if the placement is still working, if the needs and provision are still correct, if a new needs assessment is necessary, and what support there is from outside agencies including the local authority. Where a pupil has an EHC plan, schools should contact the local authority about any behavioral concerns at an early stage and consider requesting an early annual review prior to making the decision to suspend or permanently exclude. For more information on suspensions and exclusions, please see our Suspension and Exclusions resource section on our website.